There's this common saying, you are what you eat, meaning that the quality of the food you eat, be it healthy or not, has an effect on you. But what if this saying can apply to more than just your meals? Throughout our day, we also consume books, movies, videos, and other such content for various reasons, such as entertainment or inspiration. Sometimes we rely so much on this other content for inspiration that we realize that we are actually consuming more than we are painting or producing. For this realistic watercolor artwork, I'll be painting a boy and dog fishing together. I found this reference photo on Pinterest, and I chose it because it has a nostalgic childhood vibe to it that I wanted to capture in this artwork. I'll leave a link in the description to both this reference photo and my Pinterest page, where I've collected other reference photos in a similar style that you might like. As you have probably noticed, my reference photo is in black and white, even though I will be painting in color. This means that I will be inventing the colors myself, which is a bit of a challenge. Something I do to help me is find an artwork where I really like the color palette, like this one. Throughout my painting process, I will be looking at this artwork and trying to use the same colors. Doing this helps you not be in the dark on which colors you want to use and make sure that your finished painting will be closer to your vision. How can we get into the mindset of producing more than we consume? In order to do this, I think we first need to understand the root cause of this habit. Why do we tend to consume more than we create? It's possible that the reason we reach for our phones, our books, our movies is a desire to find inspiration. We want to see something and feel that aha moment, something that will magically trigger an idea for an artwork. Sometimes this method works. However, I think that you and I can both agree that more often than not, we end up mostly consuming and creating sometimes when we get lucky with that rare spark of inspiration. What if I told you that there's a way to get unlimited inspiration without getting you stuck in a cycle, which is so simple and has been in front of you all along? Another challenge for this painting is that I am painting on a watercolor board. This watercolor board is 16 by 20 inches, and it is the first time I am painting with watercolors on a board as opposed to paper. Every paper texture creates a different effect with your watercolors, and also dictates how smooth the painting process itself will go. This watercolor board is wood with some absorbent clay substance on it. At first, I wasn't sure how well this board will absorb the watercolor, and I was pleasantly surprised that it absorbed well and dried fast. A downside to this that I noticed is that it absorbs so well and quickly that if you lay down a stroke that you don't like, you have a span of about 5 seconds to rub it off with water, and if you're not fast enough, then the stroke will be permanent. I find that paper is more flexible and forgiving in this area, especially Yupo paper, which I have been using a lot recently. So for this painting, I had to adjust my usual painting process to be more decisive and intentional with my strokes. This is my setup, and I'm sorry that my voice sounds so hoarse. I'm kind of sick right now. This whole entire painting is confusing me so much right now. At some point, I'm just like, I'm gonna go look at a tutorial on YouTube of like how to paint water with watercolors, and as I'm looking at this, I realized, wait a minute, there's green in the water because of the trees that are reflecting on the water, right? And you see this sort of blended effect over here that's happening with the water. And I looked back at my own reference photo and realized that this is the exact same blending. You see these streaks It's the same thing that's in the water in this other photograph, right? That's actually in color because mine is in black and white, right? And I'm looking at my painting now and I realize maybe all this top stuff is actually supposed to be greenish. And it's just like mind-bending because I don't know, do I repaint it? Do I just add a layer onto it? I don't know. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. The key to inspiration is simply experience. As Benjamin Disraeli, two-time Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, once said, experience is the child of thought, and thought is the child of action. As experiences shape our thoughts and perception of the world, new experiences widen our horizons and provide us with new perspectives which bring us inspiration. Recently, I went to an aquarium for the first time in years. Seeing the fish and other sea creatures was so much more fun than I expected. Like, look at this turtle, it's huge! Outside of the aquarium were these beautiful painted planters, and I actually got to see the artist themselves in action. The best way to get unlimited inspiration is from yourself and your surroundings. If you're feeling stuck and your surroundings aren't interesting to you, go outside and explore. Experience and try new things. Then you can draw inspiration from these new experiences. It might seem at first that consuming content is actually a more accessible and easy way to expose yourself to new ideas. However, this is not true. I think that every one of us possesses a little stream of consciousness in our minds, which is that little voice in our head that detects whether an idea is good enough or not to bring into reality. Sometimes throwing in a couple of large stones into this stream, which are pieces of content, can make it branch out and flow in different directions, bringing interest. However, too many stones can block and scatter the little stream completely. The more media you consume, the less likely you are to find inspiration. In fact, you're more likely to completely block the flow of thought which brings you these ideas in the first place. Especially nowadays, in the internet age where so much information and content is accessible with just one click, we often get overstimulated. While our ancestors might have suffered from not enough access to knowledge, we on the other hand have so much knowledge that we tend to overconsume and forget to slow down and let our minds process and think. That's not to say consuming content is bad. I think the internet is actually a good thing, and there are numerous times where I have gained inspiration for a painting from something that I read or saw online. However, I also think that it's important to be mindful of just how much we are consuming. I think the problem with consuming content for inspiration isn't the content itself. The problem is relying mainly on the content as a source of inspiration. Focusing on finding inspiration from your experiences and surroundings and minimizing the amount of content you are consuming is more of a balanced approach to finding inspiration. This way, you are giving yourself the headspace to process yourself and the world around you, and come up with your own original ideas instead of filling up your mind with too much noise. And you get to focus on getting out more often and experiencing new things, which is fun. As you noticed, I'm painting outside now. This is actually the first time I ever painted outside like this, and I would like to thank KraftGeek for making this possible by gifting me their KraftGeek Inspire easel stand. What I like about this easel stand is that you can unfold it just like you saw me do to paint standing, or you can use it in its smaller form on a table, which is how I have been using it earlier throughout this video. It's also very sturdy and compact, making it very good for storage and taking it with you on your painting adventures. I'm thankful to KraftGeek for providing you with a special 15% discount off your own KraftGeek Inspire easel stand, which you can access through the link in the description and using the code Adar Frida. If anything in this video was helpful and speaks to you, please leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you for watching.